Hello, welcome to sunny Liverpool, famous for many things, including, of course, as the home of the Beatles. And no, you're not having a fever dream. I am standing in front of a giant pink inflatable octopus. Yes, it's the show that puts the art in McCartney. Welcome to a brand new episode of Landscape Artist of the Year. In this year's search for Britain's chart-topping landscape artist, 2,000 applied, with just 48 selected to take the stage across 6 epic heats. As landscape mania has swept the nation, our artists have had to cope with everything from mind-blowing vistas to scorching temperatures.
I think I might just go and jump in the river because I am fading fast.
Along with the inevitable summer downpour.
We arrived and the heavens opened, there was thunder and lightning.
The prize they're competing for is a £10,000 commission for the Science Museum, celebrating the stark beauty of Orkney and its key role in the sustainable energy revolution. As ever, it's our 3 eminent judges the artists need to impress: Kate Bryan, Taishan Schierenberg and Kathleen Soriano.
Well, this is looking lovely, so I'll just take that.
And no festival of art is complete without a support act, the Landscape Artist Wildcards. There's an ice cream truck over there as well.
No, that's we want to go in as far as this.
No, but I mean to get an ice cream, not to paint.
Oh, yeah.
So, as they step into our octopus's garden, who will come up smelling of roses?
A little bit worrying, but we're not going to worry. We're going to paint.
And who will get lost in the undergrowth?
Is painting relaxing for you?
No.
Right.
It's absolute pain.
I want to leave you to
Suffer.
suffer.
Today, 8 artists are on Merseyside. Kieran Meister, a filmmaker and painter from County Wicklow in Ireland. From Birmingham, fine art student Rakea Aftab. Monica Popham, a digital media manager from Gibraltar. Essex architectural designer Kerry Doyland.
Obviously, I'm feeling nervous. I can't imagine anybody in a pod wouldn't be. At the moment, everything is just like an adrenaline haze.
Also taking part, Mark Bonello, an HGV driver living in County Antrim. From Kent, impressionist Penny Behrman. London-based painter and architect Quentin Martin. And Chris Dorning, a mixed media artist from Cumbria.
I love Liverpool, work here a lot. Just really eager to get cracking and see what I can produce.
Our artists have all been chosen on the strength of a submission landscape, which they've brought along today to display in their pods. But as they settle in and steel themselves for the day ahead, the intense morning sunshine is already causing concern.
It's very, very hot and it's only like 10 o'clock. So it's just going to be a case of keeping the paint moist and stop it from drying up. The only thing I'm worried about is passing out from the heat.
To tackle the light change during the day, I think you just have to commit to an early idea. I'm okay. I'm hoping that I do a painting that I like, you know.
Artists, you don't have 8 days a week. You have 4 hours to complete your landscapes. Don't let me down. Your time starts now. Beneath a perfect blue sky, our artists find themselves confronted by the imposing edifices of Liverpool's famous 3 Graces: the Royal Liver Building and the Cunard and Port of Liverpool buildings, which dominate the city's historic waterfront and tower over the pod positions beside the Mersey. But it's not just intricate architecture and dazzling sunshine that could make suckers of our artists today.
Just got here and there's a huge octopus in the way, and I don't want to paint it at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the octopus. Maybe it'll have a tentacle coming in. Who knows? Maybe when the heat gets to my head.
The thing I'm concerned about with this magnificent view
is that I don't think I'm going to fit all of it in the canvas. And whether I can really cope with a pink octopus, I'm not so sure.
It's pink and surreal.
It's very surreal.
None of our artists are surreal today, are they?
Well, it remains to be seen. I mean, it's going to be really interesting at the end of the day. We're going to have, like, probably two camps, like, ones that embrace the octopus, one that totally rejected. It wasn't here, it never happened.
And, you know, people tend to think that urban architecture would be all very, very grey, but there's so much colour here.
Yeah.
As well as the octopus, but you've got the wonderful blue sky, the tones in the grey, and the shadows are doing wonderful things on the buildings.
Well, I think actually probably their biggest challenge is going to be editing. Not to say I don't want a big, full picture of this spectacular view, but I just love it when an artist identifies one thing that I would never think of.
I mean, who's going to just do the octopus? Do you think, what would we do if someone just did the pink and green octopus, Kate?
That probably would serve us right for putting it there.
With an excited Liverpudlian crowd already gathering in the morning sun, our first artist has been inspired by the entire stretch of grandiose architecture looming over him.
The view is quite complicated, but the whole experience of this place is seeing all three of them together in this very linear way. The composition actually lends itself to quite a long format, I think.
Quentin Martin lives in London and has recently completed 8 years studying architecture. But it's rural rather than urban scenes that tend to inspire his work, as in his expressive oil painting of a panoramic river view close to his family home in Dorset.
Quentin, that's a beautiful submission. It's very lyrical, it's very painterly. It's a large vista, but it actually is very intimate.
Thank you.
Now, we've given you these three rather sort of monstrous buildings.
Yeah.
Tell me what your thoughts are about tackling them.
Well, although they're very blocky, they lend themselves, I think, to a very horizontal composition. That's basically about the rhythm of these sort of turrets and these domes and the towers and the shapes that they make in between them.
Well, look, your drawing is appearing very slowly. There's obviously a lot to deal with. I'll let you tackle it.
Thank you.
While Quentin takes on the whole breadth of today's epic view, our next artist is being more selective.
I tend to normally work with urban scenes, so I've gone like vertically. Kind of want to focus in on the foreground and then have the building in the back.
Ruqayya Aftab is in the second year of a fine art degree at Birmingham City University. Her submission, a monochrome woodcut print of a bustling market in Pakistan, took around 3 months to complete. So faced with today's colossal built environment, she's changing tack entirely.
Ruqayya, you gave us this wonderful engraving, and we were taken with its sort of incredible sort of long view and the intensity of activity going on. But you're not doing engraving today. What made you make that decision?
Mainly because it takes a really long time. Could do more with painting.
And is painting something that you're as comfortable with as you are with engraving?
Yeah, I tend to do painting a lot more.
OK. And I see you've got a very, very particular crop that you've taken. Is this going to be what you're going to produce? But I can see you've got another board there.
Bigger version, yeah.
Well, this is looking lovely, so I'll just take that. No, there you go.
Just along Liverpool's waterfront, another group of artists is getting their easels ready for a creative contest. Our 50 wonderful wildcards.
This is actually my first time painting outside. I suppose anything could go wrong, really, but I'm trying to think positive.
I got an F for my GCSE art, and after that, I never touched art again. In the lockdown, a friend of mine gave me an easel, and once I got that first brushstroke on, I was absolutely hooked. It changed my life completely.
There's a bit of a camaraderie kind of feel. There's no kind of competitiveness that I felt yet, anyway. It's great to be kind of around everybody that just loves art as much as I do.
One of today's wildcards will win the chance of a place in the pods in the semi-final. Tell me why you're painting the ferry building when there's some of the most beautiful architecture in the country to your right.
I'm going to do the contrast of the Liver building there, you see.
Oh, you got the live building in the corner, yeah.
Just there.
Right. There's an ice cream truck over there as well.
No, I want to go in as far as this
No, but I mean to get an ice cream, not to paint.
Oh, yeah.
While our wild cards keep their cool, our next artist is turning up the heat with his bold and vibrant choice of colour.
When I'm producing a landscape, I tend to start with a red ground. It's a nice dramatic colour to work onto.
Chris Dorning is a professional mural artist. Building on a red ground with charcoal and acrylics, he creates striking, energetic paintings, as in his depiction of a tree he chanced upon while walking in woodland near his home in Cumbria.
Chris, we've got a beautiful blue sky day. We've got
Yes.
the green of the trees,
Yes.
the pink of Ollie the Octopus,
Mhm.
but you've got this incredible red ground. What is it about the red? What does that do for you?
I just love how the red will come through.
Okay.
And I like seeing how it does that. I'm putting it in the right place, but it glows, and I like seeing a tiny little hues just pop through the gaps too.
And I know from your submission that you sort of came across this incredible tree and felt that you had to paint it.
Yeah.
We found it sort of really impressive and striking.
Thank you.
You are quite playful with the colours that you use in it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it made me think a little bit about David Hockney. You know, today we've told you what you've got to paint. I
Yeah.
mean, how does it feel when someone has made that choice for you?
It's always tricky. It's a little bit school, isn't it? You've got to do that. But no one needs to be happy but me.
And the three judges, just
And,
saying.
oh, and you guys, yeah, sorry.
When I create a landscape, I tend to zoom in into the areas that I find contrasting, which normally involves shadows and light and colourful areas of the scene. So I've chosen to focus on, I don't know the name of the building, that one.
Born and raised in Gibraltar, Monica Popham is captivated by everyday urban landscapes. Her acrylic rendering of a window and washing line back home was completed in 6 hours and features her signature tightly cropped framing.
Monica, you have to be such a good editor when we present you with quite a spectacular, abundant urban scene as this. Why have you particularly chosen this part, the main rotunda on this extraordinary building here?
I quite like the dramatic effect of the light against the columns.
But you didn't go for the dome. I mean, you've given us quite a brutal chop.
I just find it quite interesting if you get rid of all the noise at the back and then focus on the shadows and the light.
Okay. So let's talk about your submission. It's this gorgeous tiny painting. I was so attracted to it because it was such an unassuming scene. What made you decide that this was worthy of being painted?
Well, I walked past this building back at home in Gibraltar, with the light especially and the colours, it was all quite attractive. But it's the same with this one, it was such a huge building. But if you crop it to quite a small scene, it was interesting.
Okay. Wow, there's a lot to get done, so I'll leave you to it.
Yeah, thank you.
With an hour in Liverpool already gone, it's our artists' last chance to set their compositions.
At the moment, I'm maybe thinking that my perspective might be a tiny bit flat. That's why I've introduced the big tail end of the museum. It's got all these angles that will hopefully lead the eye down the road.
Definitely worried about the composition. Background, I'm quite solid on the building, but the foreground, I feel it could change completely. It's still 50-50 about the octopus.
I think the long composition was a good idea. But the thing that could go wrong is the architecture doesn't read as being accurate. If you don't recognize it as the Three Graces, that'd be terrible.
On Liverpool's waterfront, our artists are taking on the municipal grandeur of the city's famous Three Graces, along with a giant octopus thrown in for good measure. But refusing to be distracted by the pink inflatable or its growing fan club, our next competitor is seeking inspiration elsewhere.
Usually I would find a niche that's quite interesting, so I kind of like this juxtaposition between the modern building here and the older building on the left. So, yeah, it's all good.
HGV driver Mark Bonello previously took part in Landscape Artist of the Year at Compton Verney in Warwickshire. Drawn to overlooked urban scenes, his submission is a view from his lorry while stuck in a traffic jam in Birkenhead, just a stone's throw from today's pods.
Mark, lovely submission. It's light, it's very evocative, but it's also a view that one wouldn't really normally see. It's sort of just the edge of a motorway.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's something that you would just pass by, and I'm intrigued by the things that you would just pass by.
Now, today we're stuck in front
Nice.
of 3 colossal buildings.
Yeah, so it's about narrowing it down to a focal point that sort of really interested me, and then I kind of saw this view here where you've got the juxtaposition between the modern and the old.
Oh, yeah. Now, you've done a little sketch.
Yeah.
So you've worked out your composition. I mean, the sketch looks very promising, so I'll let you crack on.
Thank you.
Today's view is a hell of a challenge because it's so monotone. Apart from the obvious big pink octopus on the scene, I love colour, so I'll get as much colour into those grey, creamy white buildings as I possibly can.
Kerry Doyland from Southend-on-Sea uses acrylic paints to create vibrant, slightly abstracted landscapes. Her submission shows a deserted terrace at the Venice Hotel where she took her first holiday after losing her husband to COVID in 2020.
Kerry, this is a beautiful submission. You really transport me to this terrace. It's full of emotion as well. You feel it. It's brimming over.
Thank you.
And I love your use of colour. I'm curious, did you start with like a very strong orange, like quite bright? Okay.
I did. Which is where I am
exactly
at the
that
moment.
here.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it something you always use, this sort of intense orange at the beginning?
Yeah, but because these buildings are sort of pale, yellowy, grey, white, I've gone in with sort of lilacs and purples in the shadows.
So a slightly different colour register.
A different colour register.
Well, listen, to put together these like purples and mauves with these sort of more acidic oranges, you really tread a fine line. You get away with a lot. I hope we get to see that at play today.
Goodness, so do I.
Help, it's hot.
Hey. The Beatles are from Liverpool, did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they're from here.
But we are here on this iconic place.
Yeah.
The Mersey behind us.
Yeah.
These 3 fabulous buildings, these monoliths.
I mean, there's so much information. I mean, how do you even begin?
So you've got to look at the beautiful cupolas, the towers, you've got to look at the shadows, you've got to edit it down, you've got to find something organic to counterpoint it. There is a huge pink octopus, which could count as an organic shape.
Talk about the octopus. That's an option for them, is it?
It is a very interesting option, but none of it doesn't really work with the rest of it. You might think, what the hell is that about? So it needs to make sense. So, yes, a bonkers, surreal kind of day. Lots of stuff for the artists to get their teeth into.
Yeah. Well, we've got a gig on the roof in 10 minutes, so we better go and get ready.
Okay.
Liverpool may be on show in all its glory for our artists today, but for one, there's no place like home.
Where I'm from in Ireland is very green and lush. That building is very scary and imposing. It's like something out of a Batman film. So a bit of foliage in the front. It's a bit more meeting.
An experienced portrait artist, Kieran Meister has recently begun to turn his hand to landscapes. He's developed a style using broad vertical strokes that he builds up in layers, employed in his arresting portrayal of a misty valley in his native County Wicklow.
Kieran, you were clearly not going to just focus in on the pure architecture.
No, I don't think so. I don't know if I have the ability to capture the structure itself.
What do you normally paint?
Definitely rural.
But I think you've made such an intelligent choice. I mean, what you've done is really emphasise the fact that there are a lot of trees there and they're beautiful and they've been planted to offset the architecture. So tell me about your submission. It's here. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love the fact that it's almost like a tapestry.
Yeah, it's something I've been working on where I've just been working in verticals. So like trying to find the colours and then build on top of that.
Well, I can see your vision. And what I like so far is it's really capturing the intensity of today.
Cool, thank you.
From an artist doing his best to avoid Liverpool's three graces, to one tackling them warts and all.
To try and make them look a bit hardcore is much more important than making them look pretty. I'm thinking about the history of the place and the mood, not just the bricks and mortar.
Impressionist Penny Behrman specialises in atmospheric textural landscapes, built up in thick layers of oils with a brush and palette knife, as seen in her submission of Marshland near her hometown of Deal in Kent.
Morning, Penny.
Good morning.
What made you decide to include all three of the wonderful buildings that we have here?
It all looks really heavy, and I really want to get something in about Liverpool's past and the colonial history element.
It's quite a loaded history here
It
in
is
Liverpool.
very loaded.
But here you've got something that's very sort of light and joyful.
I'm trying to be cheerful at the beginning because it won't last.
So one of the things we really loved about your submission was that sort of broadness and openness. You've got that very dramatic cloudscape that you caught. I mean, what's giving you the drama here today?
I think city architecture seems to be about grandeur and showing off, making people feel quite small down here.
Yeah.
So the drama is in the weight of it, I think.
Well, it's got a lovely tension to it already, so you're on the right lines, Penny.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Along the waterfront, our wildcards, free from the confines of a pod, are revelling in the full 360-degree view.
So I've chosen to paint the view overlooking where the ferry is collecting the people. Earlier today, actually, there was a beautiful kind of reflection coming down from this long, like, turrety thing, if you like.
I've painted the view of the dock, is it? I was very close to painting the octopus, but my husband encouraged me to paint this view, so, yeah.
So, Michael, you're painting the ferry terminal.
Yeah.
Who have you got with you, Michael?
This is Jan.
You're busy. What are you doing?
Making dog bandanas and bow ties.
Making dog bandanas and bow ties. Do you have a dog?
He's a cockapoo.
He's a cockapoo in a bow tie. Yeah. Will he be along later to see us?
He might be.
Right. He's probably got an appointment with his tailor.
Well, you know, these things happen.
Though the Mersey heat seems to suit the gathering crowd, back at the pods, some of the artists are struggling with the soaring temperature.
I could pass out, you know. Every time I make a mix, it just dries out instantly, you know, so I'm having to constantly add some thinners to it.
Because of the heat, everything's drying on the brush and the palette. Just bone dry. Start to mix a colour, gone.
I'm just letting my temperature out through the soles of my feet. As soon as I put shoes on, I feel a bit confined.
On Merseyside, our artists are depicting Liverpool's famous three graces in their own landscape works of art. But capturing the architectural detail of the imposing vista is causing problems.
So the composition is long format. I've blocked in all the major areas of tone, but I don't know, there's part of me is thinking, oh my God, am I going to be able to get all the relevant information in?
Because I've cropped the top and I've cropped the bottom. Something about it just doesn't look right. I think it might be the perspective. A bit nervous. I thought I'd be further on than I am, to be honest.
For Kerry, though, it's not only the buildings that have her fishing around for the right composition.
Because the octopus was provided for us, I thought, well, maybe we're being encouraged to include a little bit of something cheesy today. So I'm painting in the Fab Four. George, Paul, Ringo, and John.
It's our own Fab 3 the artists need to impress. So, at the halfway point of the competition, who do they think is hitting the right notes? So our artists today seem to fall into two camps, faced with this epic view. They're either giving us it all, or they're zooming in. Quentin's giving us a big vista.
It's this lovely sweep that he's given us, and he's approaching these buildings in a really interesting way.
I kind of feel with Quentin, at the moment, he's giving us an architectural study, and I'm missing that sort of wristy painterliness. But I'm hoping, as it goes forward, that we'll get a bit more of the sort of interpretation, actually.
Rukeya's a young artist. I sense a bit of tentativeness there.
Yeah, with Rukeya, it's difficult to see where her work is going because we only know her monochrome work.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rukeya was one of the artists today that made a quick editorial decision. There's too much there for me. I'm just going to focus on this slice. And I'm worried it's too conventional.
It's so interesting seeing what clearly interests each artist.
Yeah.
And Mark is a good example of that. You know, he's found this juxtaposition of the modern museum, Liverpool, and one of the three graces.
I think Mark's interesting. You know, we're all staring in this direction. What about this here? This is important. This is interesting.
He's got a palette that he's familiar with, and he's kept it small. He seems very relaxed. I've got a confidence in him.
Kerry's giving us some wonderful colour to a view that is essentially grey.
And I think she's one of a couple of artists that have gone for this very strong background colour. The register she's chosen today is quite harsh. I think she's going to solve all of that, though. The thing that I don't know how well she'll be able to resolve is this Beatles business, putting in the bronze of the four Beatles. Very dangerous territory.
Kieran has found a verdant landscape in one of the least verdant places we've ever been.
Yeah, Kieran's basically pushed all the architecture out of the way. Out, out, get out of my way. I want to get to the green stuff.
Kieran's work early on had that very sort of vertical, tentative touch, and he's lost that vibrancy. So he really needs to go back then and find those subtleties.
Penny's giving us a very sort of impressionistic view.
I find Penny, of all the artists, is actually giving me an experience of today. The heat, there's light bouncing around her painting.
The other thing I really like is the transparency of the paint. And you look at her submission, it's really heavy and dark and textured. So I'm nervous that that's what she's going to do with the second half of the day.
Monica's really zoomed in, hasn't she?
Yeah, because she's gone for that cupola. And it's wonderful in the way it's been enlarged and the level of detail.
She is one of those artists who goes, OK, I want to paint about this. Where can I find it today? And that's what she's done. I don't know that it gives me a sense of Liverpool today, but it's a great bit of painting.
Chris is working at a phenomenal rate.
I think with Chris, what is interesting, because he's working on a red ground with black, his painting is looking like a graphic novel. And of all of them trying to paint the octopus, his makes sense.
Yeah.
Somehow it works within the narrative he's built up.
But yeah, at the end of the painting, are we going to feel like this belongs in a book as opposed to in a gallery?
Well, there we go. When we told them they were painting Liverpool, I mean, who would have expected a neon pink octopus?
That's part of the charm, isn't it? We sort of raise the bar every single time. Today, a giant inflatable octopus. Tomorrow, who knows?
Chris, are you listening to any of the people walking past you?
Yes, I am.
I know the red is going, but someone I said too red, and off they went. That was a two-word verdict.
That was my ego just popped. But in Liverpool, I've done some murals where all you get is, "That's boss meat." And I'm to live with that.
But if you get that from the judges, we'll see you in the semi-final.
Rukeya, you put one solitary figure in. You know, we often go to populated scenes, and so, you know, there are people in it. Why did you choose just one person?
At the moment, it's just one. Like, if it was up to me, if I had a lot of time, I'd have, like, hundreds of people in there.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'm curious. Is this lone visitor in your painting going to have any friends by the end of the day?
Known collectively as the Three Graces, after the Greek goddesses of charm, beauty and creativity, the Royal Liver, Cunard and Port of Liverpool buildings have been the stars of Liverpool's waterfront since the early 20th century.
The three pierhead buildings were built on the site of the former George's Dock. These buildings were quite forward-looking for their time. They were all designed to be quite showy, but to be individual as well.
The Port of Liverpool building came first in 1907, followed a year later by the Royal Liver building, home to the Royal Liver Assurance Company. At almost 104 metres tall, it was one of Britain's first skyscrapers. But it's what sits on top that cemented the building's place in Merseyside folklore.
The liver birds are very much mascots of Liverpool. The female one, Bella, is the one who looks out to sea to look for the sailors coming in, and the male, Bertie, is the one who looks inland and sort of coming home and looking at the city. There's a myth that should the two liver birds fly away, the city of Liverpool ceases to exist.
In 1914, the Cunard building, headquarters to the Cunard Line Shipping Company, was erected between the two, creating an imposing waterfront welcome to the city.
They were meant to be received as you arrive by ship from the sea and down the River Mersey. I think a lot of people arriving in Liverpool recognise the buildings and know that they're home.
Now offices, the Three Graces endure as a symbol of Liverpool's history as a port city of global importance. A legacy that has shaped its cultural, social and artistic spirit and imbued Merseyside with the unique character it has today. Down in front of the Three Graces, school's almost out for our wildcards.
I was a student here at art college in the 60s, but I never did anything like this.
And I have to say, this picture does take you slightly back in time. You've taken away the road, taken out all the people.
Well, if I had a few days, I probably would put all those things in.
Right, okay.
Claire, you've produced two amazing views across the Mersey, totally believable. Are you local?
I've come from Cornwall.
What? Well, look, I get immediately transported. I know exactly what you're talking about in terms of light and texture and water, so I mean, it's really, really impressive.
Thank you.
Our three judges now face a difficult decision. Only one artist can prevail, but with today's wildcard split into two distinct camps, will they choose someone who's tackled the architecture head-on, or an artist who has turned to face the river?
You are wildcard winner! Congratulations! Well done.
And it's Melanie Thorne-Potton's sophisticated depiction of light catching the Mersey's surface that's the judges' favourite today.
Just love the way that you're able to capture the water. It's just really believable. It's a really interesting use of the language.
Thank you.
Impressionistic without being too impressionistic. Yeah, it really feels like today.
Fantastic, thank you.
Well done.
I'm a bit speechless, actually. Yeah, really, really pleased. Means a lot. I think my best friend's got a big part to play in today. She's pretty much had the umbrella held for me the whole day, so I'm very grateful to her.
Melanie from Gloucestershire will enter a pool of wildcard winners from all 6 heats, one of whom will be selected for a place in the semi-final. Back at the pods, our artists are into their 4th and final hour.
Got a nice mixture of the old and the new together. I am a fading fast. I am so hot. Yeah, I might just go and jump in the river because I am wilting.
I wanted to use the trees to frame the composition, but I still have to work on the building, I think. I need to figure out how much detail I'm going to put into it. I don't want to overwork it. That's one thing I'm worried about.
I want to get weight into the buildings. The sort of colonial past, I want it to look a little bit kind of ugly. So I had to build up the texture quite a bit more. It gets messy from here on in.
In our Octopus's garden on Liverpool's waterfront, Our artists are into the final stages of the day's painting. And the changing weather is still keeping them on their toes. Quentin, never let it be said that you don't respond to the conditions. The sky is just clouded over a little bit and whoomph.
Yeah, no, I just wasn't particularly happy with the way the blue was sitting.
Why?
It was a bit kind of yucky. This is giving it a different edge.
After standing back, I've realised that the bottom part of the canvas hasn't got enough detail. But we're not going to worry, we're going to paint.
So the red's mostly left where my brush can't get to. If I'm honest, my main concern might be that it's a bit dark, but it's Liverpool. It's not always Venice.
Artists, here comes the sun and the last 5 minutes of the competition. You have 5 minutes left.
I'm just thinking about if I should include a figure or not, another one, or get rid of that one completely. But I feel like I should stop painting now.
I'm putting on a lot of paint, trying to make it about something other than just what you see. I'm not sure I'm succeeding. It might be too subtle.
I'm happy enough with the painting, so maybe I should just step back and let it be. Yeah, the Beatles bun for you there.
I'm nearly finished. Like, literally finished.
Artists, your time is up. Please stop what you're doing and step away from your easels.
I've been really good. It was a lovely day, but I think the judges will think that I've dropped acid this morning before I started because of how colourful it is.
Just one of our 8 artists can make it to the semi-final. So while they take a break, the judges begin by narrowing the selection down to a shortlist of 3.
You know, I think Olive the Octopus has got a lot to answer for. I think the pink has infected nearly every single one of these paintings.
I also think that today we had artists that, you know, they had to make an editorial decision and stick to it. I love the landscape format that Quentin's used and the fact that he went for all 3 buildings. I thought that it was more dramatic before he put this sky in, but I love the treatment of the building.
I mean, this view, there's so much detail, and he's found a shorthand to produce a very convincing sense of space and where we are. Mark, in a similar way, I think it's a really beautiful rendition of this space we're in.
I love his contrariness as an artist, where he'll find a view that you sort of haven't given him. He found this tiny little corner, sort of over here, full of story, you know, in the way that you've got the modern jarring against the historic. It's a really solid piece today.
I loved what Rukeya did because actually her painting feels literally like today. You know, the clarity, the brightness.
Yeah, I must say I got it wrong at lunchtime. I saw Rukeya's composition, you know, it's flat onto the building, and actually she's resolved that issue by creating that space in the foreground and added to that the surreal sort of solitary figure.
I love the way Monica uses colour. I love her eye. You know, she's just zoomed right on up there and chosen what to leave out in an intelligent way.
But I think what really makes her paintings alive is there's so many straight lines and none of them are straight. They're all handmade. So it gives it a very sort of natural, organic feel. So, yeah, very clever painter.
I love Kerry's painting. I think she's a great colorist. And actually, the thing that I like most about it actually is these very strange, peculiar purple shadows.
You know, she stayed on the right side by having those Beatles figures not quite appear. But the psychedelic nature of it, it's sort of too reductive for me. Liverpool's a complicated and rich city. I feel this is a bit one note. With Kieran, I feel like I've fallen into his verdant, lush landscape that he sort of brought with him in his head. And that fantastic tower, which is heavenly almost. It's of here, but it's not of here at the same time.
And he's done some really intense, beautiful things with the foliage in the foreground here. And it's original, this sort of vertical mark making.
Penny's really worked her painting today. It's like she's been digging in the garden. I always like a painter who chucks it on and sees what happens.
I feel like with Penny, I'm mourning a painting that I saw earlier today. It's underneath that paint.
Yeah.
And it had a transparency and a lightness of touch to it.
Chris gave us that sort of burning, almost fluorescent red this morning, and we're only left with hints of it. But I do worry that by giving these buildings this red and black outline that's stepping too much into illustration, you know, you could imagine that, like, Batman's come to defeat the Octopus or something.
He's given us a completely different style to everybody else. I mean, that's what we want, isn't it? To make it even harder for us to pick someone to go forward. And that is absolutely what I feel that we've got today.
Yeah.
Artists, you've all been amazing today. Thank you so much. But the time has come to reveal which 3 artists the judges have chosen for their shortlist. The first artist is Quentin Martin. The second artist on the shortlist is Ruqayyah Aftab. And the third artist is Monica Popham. Thank you to all of you. I hope the rest of you are not too disappointed, but you should be very proud of what you achieved today. Thank you. The judges are now faced with choosing today's winner. To help them decide, they also take the 3 artists' submission works into consideration. Here we are in front of the 3 Graces with the 3 artists you have graced with a place on the shortlist. And we talked earlier about the variety of choices, the give us everything, give us a bit, zoom in, and we've got one of each. So Quentin gave us a dramatically lit facade of the buildings, and his submission, this lily-covered pond.
I mean, similarities with Quentin are the way he puts paint down. He finds a very sort of brief, cursory language to tell us about, in this case, a little island on a lake. And today, in a very loose manner, he's given us these 3 monumental buildings. So very good at picking up the essentials in a beautiful, painterly way.
I love that central building. He's made it the centre of attention in many ways.
Which takes some doing when there's a giant squid in the picture.
It really, really does. Well, you know, with Ruqayyah, I mean, somehow it doesn't look weird. I mean, how can you do that?
I think it's the colour register, isn't it? It's really cool, it's stripped back. And I think if you compare it to her submission, you see she's looking for cities that are populated, and you see it in both works, just in really different ways. Not just because the medium is so different, but I think in both of them, she puts an awful lot of information in there, but manages not to overwhelm us.
Monica's world is quite a graphic world, but because I think the colours that she uses, it takes us into the painterly. They're quiet, inconsequential moments that have heat and space, and, you know, wonderful use of shadow. You can see whatever's hanging on the washing line casting a shadow. And we've got lovely shadowy passages here at the bottom of the tower, for example. It's curious, isn't it? Because they do take you to different places, so it's quite complicated when you have this range of possibilities to choose who's going to go forward, actually.
Well, choose you must. You've got to pick one to be today's winner. I have an inkling who it might be.
Oh, do you?
I'm off to put a couple of squid on it. Quentin, Ruqayyah, Monica. To get to this point is a win in itself, but only one of you can go through to the semi-final. The artist the judges have selected is Monica Popham.
How did that happen? I honestly can't believe it. Completely shocked.
We gave Monica this huge municipal stack of buildings, and she chose just one turret. But by finding the right light, the right shadows, and the right sort of composition, she gave us the heat of the day, she gave us a sense of looking up in awe at these huge buildings, and all on a painting that was this size, which is just extraordinary.
The plan for this evening is to drive home because I've got work tomorrow, so back to reality. And an ice bath would be quite nice.
Next time, we're in Kent.
I'm not a fan of bright green, so it would be a challenge today.
As 8 new artists put their necks on the line at Hever Castle, home of Henry VIII's ill-fated second wife.
It's extraordinary. It's sort of drenched with Anne Boleyn, isn't it?
So who'll be for the chop?
Got a panic now.
And whose work will be their crowning achievement?
Apart from not having 3 hands, it's going great.